Welcome to Jags Drive Time with Ashlyn Sullivan, John Oehser, and Brian Sexton. Jags Drive Time starts right now.
Good morning, welcome in Jaguars Drive Time Tuesday, brought to you by Jet Home Loans. We have lots to talk about this week. Schedule release tomorrow at 8 p.m. Rookie minicamp Friday and Saturday, and I am here with my lovely co-hosts John Oehser and Brian Sexton. And Brian, there is apparently some news in the air for us to talk about this morning.
Well, we've all heard the whispers, and the whispers grew to loud conversations. And then yesterday, the word from Peter King and Ian Rappaport was that Tim Tebow's signing was imminent. And I can't tell you, he's 32, 33 years old, and that has dimmed nothing in his public persona here in Jacksonville. There are so many people who are excited about the prospect of what someone in his early 30s who hasn't played in 8 or 9 years and is changing positions is capable of. There is no doubt he is the golden child, the favored son of Jacksonville, and there is a great deal of enthusiasm about it. And I have to tell you, John, if they didn't have Trevor Lawrence, I'd be like, whoa, what are you doing? But because Trevor Lawrence is on this roster and the established quarterback, I'm okay with it. Let's see what happens.
I think there's a little bit of a division. I do think there are certainly people out there, like you're talking about, Brian, who are really enthusiastic. I've gotten a lot the other way as well. As can be expected, Tim Tebow is about as polarizing a football figure as you can possibly imagine. But I'm with you. All of that, I think we get lost in the minutia of this. When the Tim Tebow thing around here first, I can't even say when it first started, but when it first started with the Jaguars, which was in 2012, and there was thought of bringing him in maybe as a quarter, I didn't love that. If you had asked me, am I pro-con Tebow at that point, I was in the con camp. But now he's being brought in as a tight end. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, that's fine. I think the people who are really up in arms, and as I came in this morning, Ashlyn, there were some, pitchforks at the gate.
Yeah, nice.
So I avoided those because I'm agile. But I think the people who are that upset about it, I think are upset because of the polarizing aspect. To me, this is sort of a no harm, no foul. Mm-hmm. If it works, great. If it doesn't, shake his hand and say thank you very much.
Right. Man, still got to make
Exactly.
the team.
And Ashlyn, I have to jump in here. As a practicing Catholic, and you'll appreciate this, and the Catholic people who are watching will too, I was in the confessional before Mass a couple of years ago, right? And I'm supposed to be talking. And the priest stops me and he goes, hey, can you just tell me, why is it that the Jaguars won't sign Tim Tebow? And I can remember saying to him, I'm the one who's supposed to be talking here.
Not the time.
But this guy was so, and he's a friend. He's become a friend. But I remember thinking, man, this Tebow thing has a life of its own. It's even reached into the confessional. And the reality of it is that he's just, especially for people who practice, have faith, right? Because that's where he really draws his crowd from, because he's so outward in that. And Jacksonville's in the Bible Belt, and people love him because he lives it so outwardly, kind of like Trevor Lawrence does. I know that aggravates some people, but the reality of it is that you're just always going to have Tim Tebow on the minds of some people.
Yes, absolutely. He is a huge fan base, whether you like it or not. So let's get into big things. You're not going to believe this. Tim Tebow is big thing number one. TEBOW time. Ian Rappaport tweeting yesterday that Tebow will become official this week and sign a 1-year deal to play tight end. We're hearing so many opinions on this, like we just stated. Has never played tight end before, hasn't played in the NFL since 2012, but you cannot deny this connection right here. Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow, a lot of success with them in the past, obviously has a huge thing to do with Tim Tebow reportedly being here at some point this week. Big thing, too, is anticipation. Big week. Schedule release tomorrow. Rookie minicamp Friday and Saturday. There you see Josh Allen on the field when it was his rookie minicamp. The anticipation is we're going to see some sprints. We're going to see some guys in football and pajamas like we like to talk about. And big thing 3 is, what does the reality of that really mean? What are we going to find out about all of this? The reality is, John, not much. But hey, the coolest thing is that we're going to see Trevor Lawrence on the football field in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly how much he will do either because of the injury, the surgery he had a while back. But if you see him, if you see the long flowing locks,
You get excited.
I want to see those long flowing locks in a teal jersey or in a white jersey, whatever it is. Just, I guess, to sort of know it's real. And like we talked about on Jaguars Reporters, I'm not alone in wanting to see those long flowing locks. If you opened up the stadium, there would be 20, 35,000 people here. I don't know about the number, but it would be a lot. So there's anticipation for that. I don't know realistically, or I would expect to learn nothing or very close to nothing. But with the energy going around this franchise right now, you can't deny that it will be cool to step on a field and see football players, even if they're in pajamas. And during the off-season, Ashlyn, I don't often say that it'll be cool to be on the field.
No, very, very rarely do you say that. You'll say that on Friday, and that's about it.
You know, Tom Brady's conversation with the NFLPA the other day, and I don't know whether you saw it or not, but he talked about veteran players not participating in the off-season program, not except for the mandatory, you know, and he was talking about how, you know, pitchers don't throw 95-mile-an-hour fastballs in December, and so the players shouldn't come in and partake. They should hold out. And I think that brings us to rookie minicamp this week with the idea that if players don't come in for OTAs, then these rookies aren't going to have a lot of time with veteran players. So this rookie camp is going to have to be a very key time for Urban Meyer and for his new coaching staff to get done what they want to get done, because they might not see their whole team until the mandatory minicamp in the middle of June, and that might only be 3 days before training camp. So, I mean, I get it. Rookie minicamps are not supposed to be the most impactful, especially not since teams abandoned the on-field work in 2016, you know, largely after a couple of injuries, including Dante Fowler's. But in reading the comments and wondering how many of those veteran players stay away, there's a little bit more emphasis, I think, on this rookie minicamp and getting some key things accomplished.
Finally, Trevor Lawrence in the building. And I've had some fans reach out on Twitter, and they watch the interviews and they see Trevor Lawrence, the behind-the-scenes stuff. And, John, a few of them have tweeted saying, I still almost don't feel like it's real. Like, it almost seems too good to be true. And I think that is when it will become reality, is when you see him jog out on the football field and it's like, wow, this is really happening.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see it I'll believe it when I see it. And I'm a logical person. The mind has not gone that much that I don't realize Trevor Lawrence is here. But you see the reaction every time you tweet out a picture of him, or every time people see a picture, they get so excited because you don't realize it's real. And I think for some people, until a training camp, if it can be open, let's hope it's open so that people can experience sort of the fun of seeing him in a preseason mode. Because once the regular season gets started, things become a lot more serious. Hopefully people can have some fun before all that starts.
Yes, and we mentioned fun. Brian, let's say that Tim Tebow is here during training camp, and you have Tim Tebow and you have Trevor Lawrence on the field. I can only imagine the buzz that brings. And I was really thinking about this because I went to Florida. Tim Tebow, John's gonna make fun of me. That was like the coolest thing in the world when I was younger. And I think if it was any other position but tight end, I'd be against it. But the fact of the matter is that you need so much help at that position. Why not? And I saw some fans arguing, well, why aren't you giving the young guy a chance? And there's only 90 spots, so why are we wasting a spot on him? And you have that accomplished with the young guys already.
Look, there is...
Yeah, you know, if you didn't have Trevor Lawrence on the roster, this would not be a good idea. But because he's here, they have the flexibility to do that. He is the franchise quarterback. You know, and I was thinking about this yesterday. You look at all the great players that Urban Meyer has been associated with during his college career, from Alex Smith at Utah, you know, through Tebow and these guys at Florida, and then, you know, most recently the Bosa, Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore, Zeke Elliott. He's had some great players that he has had in his time as a college coach. But the guy who's most associated with him is the guy who didn't make it as a pro, and that's Tim Tebow. I mean, you think Urban Meyer, you think Tim Tebow. I even got that in Cleveland last week when I was up there for the draft and people were asking about this eventuality. So I don't see the harm in it. The 90th guy on the roster that comes in anyway is generally a guy that you're cutting and replacing throughout the course of training camp. So, why not bring him in? He's going to sell a ton of jerseys. He's the ultimate messenger guard, to go back to the early 50s, Paul Brown, Chuck Noll, Cleveland Browns. He's trusted by this coach, both on the field and in the locker room. I think that's more valuable than the 90th player.
Look, the last I checked, the offseason,
It's far from it.
and the last I checked, just because you signed Tim Tebow, is there a law that says you can't acquire another tight end?
You can.
Has that been written somewhere? So, this is not a case of we're going to sign Tim Tebow and then stop worrying about the tight end
That's
position.
our answer forever.
They are not signing him thinking he is going to be Travis Kelce. They want to see if he can make them marginally better in some way. I don't believe that they're down there at the other end of the rubber hallway right now thinking, okay, we're going to sign Tebow. Let's not worry anymore about the tight end. They're still doing that.
Fixed.
He happens to play tight end. This is not, we're going to bring him in to fix our tight end problem.
Yes.
Whew.
Gosh, we're opinionated about this.
Yeah, I
The pitchforks. Got to settle them down
I'm
out there.
tired, Schlen.
I
I'm
know,
just
I
tired.
know. The drama, it never ends. Well, that's big things. We'll talk much more about this, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. When we come back, we're going around the locker room, lots of interviews to show you that are on Jaguars.com. We're going to show them right here on Jaguars Drive Time.
Jags Drive Time is presented in part by TIAA Bank, created to serve, built to perform. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Dreamfinders Homes has a simple commitment to their home buyers. Deliver unsurpassed quality, uncompromising value, and an extraordinary level of customization you simply won't find with other home builders. With over 40 communities to choose from, you'll find a location you love and the home of your dreams. Dreamfinders has townhomes, single-family homes, and custom estate homes starting from the high 100s and a wide selection of move-in ready homes. Quality, value, customization. That's the Dreamfinders difference. Call 904-738-0165 or online at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Prices subject to change without notice. Equal housing opportunity.
Pinpoint, the official signage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, helps business decision makers like you maximize the impact of their brand. Your company's identification, advertising, and even the words you use make an impression on your clients. With Pinpoint as your coach, you can make sure it's a good impression. Pinpoint provides the creative design and production services for anything you need to enhance your brand, from custom signage to complete marketing solutions. Step up your game with Pinpoint and create the ultimate brand experience for your clients. Visit experiencepinpoint.com.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome to a new era of Jaguars football. The reload has begun, beginning with new head coach Urban Meyer. Don't miss out on the best seats before they're gone. Lock in your tickets now for the 2021 season at Jaguars.com.
This is a good team. It's not your normal situation.
We're back, Jags Drive Time. Tuesday brought to you by Jet Home Loans, and we are going around the locker room, around the coaching offices, whatever you want to call it. We have some interviews up right now on Jaguars.com that we want you to see here on Jaguars Drive Time. And we're going to start with the franchise quarterback who understands this team was 1-15 last season, but he thinks they're closer than some people think.
This is a good team. It's not your normal situation, a team that picks first. You're going into something where there's a ton of pressure. I mean, there is, and there's those expectations just because obviously as a number one pick, you're expected to play well, but we got a lot of great players and guys that you need a team to win. It's not one guy, and I think that's the mistake people make is they think one guy's going to change everything. You got to have the pieces around, and we have a lot of great pieces here, and I'm one of those pieces, and there's a lot of other ones. So it's going to be cool to see this grow and build, and I think for sure the best is in front of us.
And Brian, I liked what he said there. There's this overarching just optimism about the franchise quarterback, and now everything is figured out because you have that guy. But he said it right there. I'm one guy. I need this toolbox to work with me. And there's some middle ground here. It's playoffs or bust to some fans, and you've got this all figured out, so you got to make it next year. Where we have to remember this team was 1-15 last season.
Well, look, I think that this is going to be a playoff team year after year after year, because I think that Trevor Lawrence is that quarterback. But in his first year, I mean, Peyton Manning didn't make the playoffs in 1998, his first year. In fact, he set the NFL rookie record for most interceptions in that 1998 season. There's going to be some ups and downs. This roster was more talented than your typical 1-15 roster. It just didn't benefit from consistent quarterback play. There are linemen on both sides of the ball. There are skilled position players on offense and good young defenders on defense that will all benefit from having a quarterback like this, John. And they should be better. But I mean, I think I'm reaching saying 7, 8, 9 wins is probably the high water mark for this team this year. I mean, to say 9 wins seems like an awful lot after just 1 last year.
Well, I don't doubt they're going to be better, and they clearly have guys around the roster who are talented. They have guys at each position who are talented. I think where they are going to need some time, when I say time, I mean maybe until 2022. I forget what year we're in, Ashlyn. It takes time to get good players, enough good players at all positions to feel like you're deep. And I use the defensive line as an example. They need to stop the run around here, obviously. Well, they made strides toward that this offseason. I think Jay Tufele, I think Malcolm Brown are going to be huge pieces in that. Have they added enough to get where Urban Meyer eventually wants to be, which is in the top by 25% of the league at all positions? That's the step that will take time. I think they've gone from here to here. When they go from here to here, I think is when they'll start making the strides toward the playoffs. Although I obviously expect, I think 7 or 8 is realistic. Mm-hmm. To get to that 11 or 12 where you're contending the way Brian talks, that's that next step that I'm not sure you get done in one off season.
Yeah, need a lot of guys to improve, and it all starts with head coach Urban Meyer. And we're talking draft, and look at these 9 new players you got, Coach Meyer. Isn't this awesome? And he said, yeah, let's not forget about the guys who have been in this building since January working.
The best thing going right now, I don't want to forget about our current players. You know, this is really important, but even more important is what's going on in this building. Make no mistake, the Jaguars got very good players. There's a very good core group of players, and now you know what we got to do. Got to go coach them, and coach them hard.
And there you have it, head coach Urban Meyer, very passionate that, yes, this is awesome, Brian, that we have all these new guys, but you see Josh Allen, you see James Robinson, all these guys that have been here in the building. DJ Chark's another one. I've been here since, I think, February, and we see him every single day here working.
And all of those players will benefit from Trevor Lawrence being here. To have the consistent quarterback play, to have the chance to play with the lead. Imagine Josh Allen playing with the lead. We really haven't seen that since he came into the league because the Jaguars have been trailing. Imagine what Caleb on Chason could do. We saw him improving last year, and he was always playing from behind. Imagine some of these guys on the defensive side in particular, or if you wish, imagine James Robinson running with the threat of a passing attack. What he did last year when every team knew that he had to do it all because the Jaguars were not a good passing team. Just imagine what Trevor Lawrence does to improve all of these players with his consistent quarterback play. All of them, DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault. It's exciting to think about how much better they can get this year.
Yeah, I think the point that Urban makes was important too because the rookie class is exciting, and Trevor Lawrence is going to improve this team. 4 or 5 of these guys, I think, are going to be really good players for this franchise for a long time. But statistics show you it's still rare. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is going to start, and Travis Etienne is going to make a big impact. But it's rare to get mammoth difference-making contributions out of 9, 10 rookies. You might get it out of a couple, But the guys we showed, the guys that Urban Meyer was talking about, Josh Allen, Caleb Chase, James Robinson, those are the guys that are going to have to lift the team on its back. Miles Jack, these veteran leaders, they're the guys that you truly depend on in your current season to get you to where you want to go. So I think those guys are critically important and maybe more important than the rookie class.
Could not agree more. And finally, it's interesting to see that Pete Carroll kind of followed this same path in Seattle, came from USC, and is using those college connections to his benefit. And Urban Meyer and general manager Trent Baalke said, we're trying to do the same exact thing here.
You know, it's a blessing to have that much information on guys going into a draft that normally you don't have. You know, when you know that much about a young man, it makes it a lot easier to put him on the board and feel very comfortable where you have him on the board.
Brian, that was the crazy thing when we were talking to these draft picks, and they said it's so funny how it's come full circle. I remember 4 years ago, Coach Meyer was sitting in my living room, and now I'm playing for him in the NFL. And it was funny that Coach Meyer was telling us in that interview how you only can use this connection for so long. At some point, it's going to run out. I'm not going to know these guys forever, but these few years that I have, I want to use it to my advantage.
Well, all it will take is 2, 3, 4 years for him to build a roster that can compete, you know, for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years beyond. And we're always counting on the quarterback to be that guy who's the thread that carries it through. I mean, Jimmy Johnson came in with the same thing years ago, and he had the knowledge of those college players for 2, 3, 4 years. But he assembled enough of them that they became a dominant team in the early 1990s. I would expect 2, 3, 4 years is all they'll need.
Look, this was the year to take that approach. The fact that you couldn't really bring guys in, you couldn't get to know them. I would have been surprised had they gone another route. I was a little surprised that it seemed like every guy sort of fit that profile.
Yep.
But when I stepped back and thought about it, it really wasn't that surprising. You were trying to put guys on your board, as he said, that you were confident in taking and that you feel good about and that you know are going to fit what you're building. I don't expect this to be 100% this way in 2022 draft, and it'll wane. I think it would have waned naturally even had Urban Meyer had that intimate knowledge going forward. I think over time, then you start getting comfortable with other things. But for right now, pick guys that you know. It's the old thing. If you're going to lose with guys you like and go down swinging with what you're comfortable with. So to me, the approach made sense.
For sure. A year of COVID where you couldn't bring a lot of people in the building. Use it to your advantage, especially this year. All right, that is Around the Locker Room. When we come back, some Ashlyn Ask here on Jaguars Drive Time.
Jags Drive Time is presented in part by Dreamfinders Homes, homes that fit your lifestyle. Next Grill, everyone's invited. And Adecco. Visit ADECOUSA.com.
We've been through a lot this past year, but there's light at the end of the tunnel and comfort in knowing we don't just have good things to look forward to. Some have been with us all along. Because no matter what happens out in the world, our pets are always there for us. And we are always there for them. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
The best thing about working at Fair & Farah is all of the employees. We all work together. It's extremely enjoyable to come to work every day.
There's a common cause or goal. No matter what your job is, we're all there for the client.
We are dedicated to our clients 100%. We do everything it takes to maximize the value of their claims.
Fair & Farah is really the Farah family. When they choose us, they choose a family to fight for them and to protect them and to make sure that they're in a good place and that they have somebody on their side.
Farah & Farah, here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
Treat your pet to their own vacation while you're away on your own. At Pet Paradise, dropping off your four-legged child is like having a sleepover minus the sleeping bags and late-night movies. Surrounded by friends and doting grown-ups, sleep easier knowing Pet Paradise is always there for your precious pet. Pet Paradise, official pet sponsor, provided for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're back. Jags Drive Time. It's not Wednesday, but we still have whiteboards. And tragedy has struck. We have misplaced the erasers in the studio, and now there's green everywhere. But we will prevail.
I was swiping on the head.
Don't do that, please. Right. That was not allowed. Question number 1. And Ashlyn ask. Schedule release tomorrow, Wednesday, 8 p.m. What game do you have your eyes on for this upcoming year? What's a matchup that stands out? We can go classic AFC South, Texans, Colts, Titans. Brian Sexton, what's a game you're excited about?
I'm going to go with the Titans because they are the AFC South champions. They have, because of the strength of Derrick Henry, really put it to the Jaguars the last couple of seasons. And John was talking earlier about improving the run defense. All right, let's see it, right? So you have Malcolm Brown, Devon Hamilton's got another year in there. Let's see what he's capable of, or what they're capable of against Derrick Henry. So I'm excited to see, not here, but at Nashville, where the Jaguars really have struggled to stop the run.
Those have been some scary, scary games, John.
Yeah, they have. And I'm smiling because Ashlyn and I both drew our answers. So we're going to get a little contest going here, Brian.
You're in for a treat, Mr. Sexton.
I hope I can see them.
Go on, John.
Well, I wrote the Jets. And as you can see here, this is a jet, and this is a
you don't say.
A stratocumulus cloud up
Whoa.
here. So what I'm excited about, it's sort of an obvious answer. You're excited about the number 1, number 2 pick potentially playing each other. And even sort of extending this further, I think there are 3 or 4 games in the schedule that'll be really cool, seeing Trevor Lawrence play against some of the young quarterbacks in the NFL. This is the one I thought of first, but there's multiple games in the schedule like that. And I've got to get off. I've got to move on so that we can show Schlenn's artwork because it's better than mine.
Get it? It's a dolphin.
Oh, I thought that was a jet, too.
Jumping through the ocean. Miami Dolphins, and this is not your Thursday night game from last season, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Gardner Minshew. This is a different Miami Dolphin Jaguars game. Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, 2 franchises that are going in similar directions, much more competitive game, and they will remember this drawing. We'll bring this back up.
Well, to your point, you sure hope the Jaguars are going in the Dolphins' direction because that's going to be a tough game. They are going in the right direction. And I think that's I don't know about a blueprint, but if the Jags can improve at the Dolphins' rate, that'll be a nice test to see if they're anywhere close to the progress the Dolphins have made.
Totally agree. Brian, whose drawing was better?
John's.
Jets.
Sorry.
Jets.
What?
I think it was easier for me to see remotely because it was in red, which was more vivid.
I had a stratocumulus cloud.
I don't even know what that means.
I know you
That's the biggest word I've ever heard you use.
That's the biggest word I've ever used.
All right, Ashlyn, that's number 2. All right, Trevor Lawrence, franchise quarterback. Check. We got that figured out. There are some options here. Who is going to be the backup quarterback to Trevor Lawrence? Gardner Minshew. Is he still on the roster? Jake Luton, possibly. There's a tight end coming in that played quarterback before. I don't even want to speak it into existence. It's really scary to think about. John?
No.
Who's the backup quarterback?
I'm going to blow Brian's mind here with take your pick, Brian. 15. See what I did there? No, it's
You're scary.
Yeah, I did.
I'm a little off the hook today. I don't know. I think C.J. Beathard will wind up being the backup quarterback because I think that's why they signed him and brought him in. But as long as Minshew's here, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. I think that's sort of a mystery that's unanswered right now.
What is Gardner Minshew's
I went with Beathard as well. Well, I went with Beathard as well, Ashlyn, because they're essentially the same guy size-wise. Gardner's had a little more success in terms of touchdowns and interceptions, but they're the same guy. So why would you bring Beathard in if you didn't expect him to be the backup? He's got the connection to Balky from San Francisco. I don't know what Minshew's role is going forward. I don't know if they could get a draft pick for him from a team that wants him, but I have the sneaking suspicion that Beathard was brought in because they expect him to be the backup.
It would make a lot of sense. All right, that is Ashlyn Ask. When we come back, some closing thoughts here on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here for the best barbecue in town. That is Bono's. Head to Bono's today. 15 locations on the First Coast and 6 more at TIAA Bank Field. You see, Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You want great barbecue, you want Bono's. Plenty of parking, clean family restaurants, and oh, by the way, the best barbecue you have ever had. So if you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today, the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars fans, whether it's on the field or in your finances, the key to success is a solid plan. From high-yield banking to home lending, into retirement and beyond, TIAA Bank offers solutions that can help you achieve your goals and make the most of your money. It's time for a plan. Start building your legacy today at TIAABank.com/Jaguars. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, equal housing lender, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We've been through a lot this past year, but there's light at the end of the tunnel and comfort in knowing we don't just have good things to look forward to. Some have been with us all along. Because no matter what happens out in the world, our pets are always there for us, and we are always there for them. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
We're back, Jags Drive Time, for a few more minutes, but we wanted to get this in. It kind of got lost in the shuffle yesterday. There were some big news yesterday, but this is really cool from CJ Henderson. He just graduated from the University of Florida, went back and got his degree, and is now donating $250,000 to renovate his high school's training facility. It feels good to know that I will play a part in helping future students at Christopher Columbus High School. Brian, this is a guy that he's been in the news ever since the Jaguars drafted another cornerback. What is going to happen with CJ Henderson? Graduates from college, does this. This man is having a good month.
Yeah, congratulations to him. And boy, his high school has to be excited. $250,000 for a high school football program. That can do a lot of good for those kids down in Miami. And I don't know that I saw enough from CJ Henderson last year to be able to say he'll be fine. But I saw enough traits. I saw moments where he was really good. I'm excited to see how he is completely healthy with more help. And as I mentioned with a lot of the other defensive players, the chance to play with the lead perhaps and be that ball hawking corner as opposed to a guy who's trying desperately to shut down without a pass rush.
Yeah, rookie seasons are tough. If CJ Henderson, and last year was pretty tough around the Jaguars for many reasons, if CJ Henderson's healthy and second year focused, I like to call it, which is where you come back and you realize what's going on in the NFL, he'll be fine. But let's not overlook the donation. $250,000. I get that he signed a rookie contract last year. He's making a lot of money, but that's a significant donation. It's not, hey, again, it's not to be overlooked. I think that's a significant and it's a really cool thing he did.
Very much so. It would make a huge impact in a high school program, so way to go, CJ Henderson. And that is our show, Jaguars Drive Time. Stay with us on Jaguars.com. We'll have a schedule release show tomorrow. The schedule is out. You can get your calendars and your pens out. It's very exciting stuff. Rookie minicamp Friday and Saturday. Stay with us. We'll see you next week.